It's your boy Jakeem. Really appreciate what you're doing for USC culture, man. Keep going.
Going on. Shout out USCJ, man. Appreciate the support. Shout out to USCJ. You know what it is. Nothing but love, man.
All right, Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up and out and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got another special guest, and he's here. Look, he's become a regular every week. You guys know him as B. Shaw, former USC Trojan safety, man. We want to kind of talk about the state of USC, man, what we're seeing now, coming off a big-time road victory. You guys know we felt like last time B. Shaw was on here that the road game was extremely important. We're going to find out a lot about who we are. So B. Shaw, man, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I get fired up being on USCJ now. Come on.
Hey, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
we text
the whole game, all the week.
Yeah.
We're on the same page, and kind of my initial thoughts looking at this Purdue game. We talked about it. We talked about it last week. This is going to be a big time test. Purdue's a sneaky place to play. And then it got even more sneaky because of the rain delay, a 3-hour or lightning delay, whatever it was. And I can tell you as a player, there's two ways you can kind of take that mentally. It's like, man, this is getting long. Like, let's just get this game going. Let's get this game going. But I'm sure you saw it. They put a video out of the guys dancing and stuff in the locker room.
Have you ever been in that situation?
I haven't been in one of those for that long. No, I mean, I've had like a 30-minute slide or something like that. Nothing like that. But it looks like they really handled that well. And they came out firing. They look great. And kind of the three keys I had, and we texted about this, what won the game for me. It was turnovers, line play at the line of scrimmage, both offense and defense of lines, and then, fourth down conversions out of the offense. Those were kind of my three keys to victory, but that's a great win on the road for sure.
No, one of your I know for sure the turnover, man, your keys was right on point. Let's get into it then, man. So you talked about the keys. Let's get into it. We'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. You guys know how we're going to do it, man. And the defense, man, like overall thoughts on the defense. And we can start off with some of the guys that made those turnovers, man. One in particular, man, is Bishop Fitzgerald. Man, overall thoughts, man. And we could do some letter grades as well. What are your overall thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the defense – He definitely looked into my eyes like he picked up the pressure a little bit. He had CP, Pierce blitzing early, got a sack early in the game. Kamari Ramsey was coming off the edge a lot. I mean, and the defensive line was getting pushed back all game. I mean, those guys couldn't block them. And I actually saw, I believe they're leading the nation now in sacks, which is a phenomenal improvement from last year.
Oh my God.
We didn't get a lot of sacks last year. So that was a great sign to see, great stat to see. And yeah, I really like what I saw out of him. And then in terms of Bishop Fitzgerald, I mean, listen, the guy, he's got 3 picks. What is it, 3 picks and however many games?
Yeah.
So I mean, turnovers are big time. And those turnovers he had were 2 critical ones and came at critical times. So, I mean, the rest of the game, we can look at some mistakes that he can learn from, but those are 2 big time plays and key moments. I mean, you got to give him an A. You got to give him an A.
Exactly. Because I think we were texting that. We're like, man, there's a couple things that we saw, and I'm like, dang, Bishop Fitzgerald really kind of any mistake that he might have even made, maybe he surely redeemed himself, man. If it was, but I mean, he had those interceptions, which was incredible. His knack, I got to give it to him. Like his knack for the ball is kind of different. I've been noticing like he's been coming, just been kind of swooping up on some plays and kind of been there. The one in the end zone was crazy. But to your point, you're talking about 14 sacks, man. It's crazy. I'm not sure if that stat is leading the nation. We got to be leading the nation right now.
Yeah, I believe I saw it on Twitter that they were leading the nation for sure.
Yeah. So it's 14 total sacks, 33 tackles for loss, 6 interceptions on the season, 1 forced fumble, 2 pick sixes. Now, you was on that team the first year. I remember.
It's just about to bring that year up, so this is great.
Okay. Well, you talk about it because I mean that was kind of crazy too. That was Alex Grant. She was there, and it was crazy because it was like we were leading. I think we were leading the nation. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we led the nation in turnovers that year, and Coach Riley and at the time Coach Grinch, their biggest thing was, listen, turnovers win games, and then being able to scoring defense. If you can score on defense, I mean, your chances of winning go sky high. And we went 11-2 that year, made it to the Pac-12 championship. I mean, we were right there, ranked number 4 at the end of the season, and a lot of things we didn't do great on that defense that season, but we turned the ball over for sure. And looking at this year's team, it's a much improved defense. It's a much improved team all around. And if they can have those same type of numbers in the turnover department, I mean, the sky is the limit for this team.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I remember it was something crazy. I think we were leading the nation too with turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, that year. But this team, the interior guys, there were a lot of people, man, that last week after the game, they were talking about the defensive line. They're not getting pressure, and I kind of pushed back on that because I felt like I know what I saw. I felt like the defensive line was getting pressure, and now you look at the emergence of true freshmen, and we'll talk about them. But just real quick, your thoughts on the defensive line, and the edge guys. They all go together, but I think the guys in the middle don't get a lot of love.
There's pressure going up the middle all game long. And we texted about it, halfway through the game. Yeah. We said, in all caps, we said, defense line is the unit of the game. If you want to give the game ball to a unit, it's got to be the defensive line. I mean, they're getting pressure. And then you got guys, and then when you got guys like Eric Gentry, I mean, Eric Gentry played a hell of a game at the linebacker position. I mean, I know he's beating himself up about it, so I feel fine messing with him.
Have you talked with him at all?
I haven't talked with him, but I feel like messing with him, and I probably will give him a week it's going. Because man, if you would have grabbed that would have been one of the all-time.
That was a pick six.
Yeah, one of the all-time best performances. But even with that kind of fluke play, he played phenomenal. But like you said, looking at this defense line, there's a lot of pressure coming up the middle. I mean, these interior guys, they're growing, they're stepping up, they're meshing, they're starting to mesh. And this schedule, which we talked about, is why I love this schedule. And I kind of was listening to in the modern day, I forget what podcast it was, but they're talking about how important scheduling is. And it's not necessarily giving yourself cupcakes, but it is kind of giving yourself the chance to grow, get better and better and better. So by the time real strong conference play rolls around, exactly what works, exactly what you got. And this schedule has allowed them to do that. And we see them growing every week. And you had one of the GOATs, Marcus Allen, on there. He said this team is moving in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction. And that's how I feel. I mean, this is another step in the right direction, another climb in the mountain.
I see and I know you see this too, because you were there last year, you was on the field, and I want to get on that schedule too. But I think it's a distinct difference between fans and people that actually played. And I noticed particularly with guys like Marcus Allen, he was on the sideline, as you stated to, alluded to, he called. And one of the things he said, I mean, you guys heard it on the phone. He said that he was impressed. He said, Jay, I'm impressed. And he says that we just got a few things to tighten up. Do you view it the same way from what you see? Or do you, or you, I know you're not in panic attack because, I mean, you already know how it goes and you see a lot of things schematically, but how do you view it, based on what Marcus Allen had to say?
Yeah, I'm on the same page with him. Listen, when you look at, that game proved to me, it would have been tight without those turnovers. That's just a fact. Those turnovers, but we got those turnovers. But with that being said, this team proved to me that they can compete for this Big Ten conference without a doubt. They have the pieces. They continue to show me they have all the pieces. And yes, we get some little mistakes here and there that I know, just knowing Coach Lynn, knowing Coach Riley, and kind of had that coaching staff and where they're at right now as a culture, that they're going to fix. They're going to fix. They're going to learn. We didn't see, maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't see any miscommunication coverage bust, which we talked about.
No.
Too much like that. I didn't see. They're hitting the same, RPO, slant, glance, whatever guys would call it, most of the game. It was driving us crazy. We were waiting.
We were going back and forth with that.
Yeah, not too many. I didn't see too many down the field explosives. Nothing like that. So we've already seen them fixing their mistakes, and they're going to keep fixing their mistakes. And I really like where this team's heading for sure.
Absolutely. And so I don't know if you had an opportunity to look at the top 25 at all.
Yeah.
Today the AP. How are you feeling? Do you feel like USC is right where they need to be at 25? I kind of feel some type of way with Notre Dame being there with 0-2, and that's kind of that. I mean, but it is what it is. But how are you feeling about the top 25?
Yeah, I think the top 25, just looking at how they do it, I don't think they look at like what's going on enough. They kind of go off like, oh, well, this team should be this good, this team should be that good, and that's kind of looks like how they rank them to me. I mean, Notre Dame, yes, they have 2 tough losses to 2 good teams, but they're 0-2. I mean, you can't, in my opinion, I don't think an 0-2 team deserves to be in there.
Right.
I mean, when you look at USC, I mean, I know just kind of as a player and as a coach, we were just so taught, and you know this, that just don't worry about where
don't worry about it.
Don't pay attention. Just if we keep handling our business week in, week out, it's not going to matter. We'll be where we want to be. So I don't usually – I'm so, like, used to that I don't
right.
But, you know, that we're sitting right where we want to be sitting in terms of being ranked. And I'm with you, Notre Dame at 0-2. And then there's some other – I got to relook at it, but there's some other things I was kind of scratching my head at. Like, I just don't understand how they –
It's crazy. So from what you see now, and I kind of feel like it, you kind of know how I feel about it, but from what you see now, you cover college football as a whole. Everybody, make sure you go. Can you tell everybody real quick? Let's take some time out, do that real quick. Where everybody can find you. B. Shaw covers all sports, not just football, USC, but he covers all sports. Can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can go to YouTube and go to Shaw Sports Media. I'm actually coming out with an episode tomorrow where I'm going to be looking at each Big Four conference and kind of doing my top 3 teams from each conference and a standout player. So I'll be coming out on Shaw Sports Media on YouTube, and then on TikTok it's Shaw Sports. So I got those rolling right there, and I appreciate you letting me shout that out, Jay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the fact that you cover all sports, and I know you've been looking at some other teams, man, based on the teams that you've seen thus far, how do you feel like just the eye test? We're not even talking about take away the logo for some teams, because some people are gonna judge certain teams by certain logos. So based on what you've seen, how you feeling about USC from a talent standpoint?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look at let's look at the Big Ten alone. I mean, I text you about this. What Big Ten team is going to have the offense to run, even if we get in a shootout? We said Oregon, that's kind of, but then we see them, 34 or whatever it was. There's a lot of, points, but Northwestern's really struggling and kind of a down team.
Right.
So, and then you even see Ohio State, great team. I played there, a great team, love them. Ohio was playing them tight late into that game.
Yes. It was like 9-16 in the fourth quarter or something.
Yeah, exactly. So when I look at these Big Ten teams, yes, there are a lot of good teams in the Big Ten, and I think the Big Ten is the best conference. We
absolutely.
I love where we are, because I think with Coach Lynn in the second year, this defense is, and the turnovers now, and kind of how we see this defense starting to operate and come together. I think with that defense getting better, I think with Jaden, who I know you're going to want to get in.
We definitely gonna get into them. We're gonna talk about these quarterbacks in a minute.
It's playing at a really good level. I think there's no reason why I'm so confident, and I think if you're a USC fan, you shouldn't have any lesser expectations than them being able to win the whole conference, because when you look at it, I think they have the best offense, and their defense is really strong and growing. So I love where they're at right now.
No, that's facts, man. And any other year, you might have some other teams that are super strong, but I just think right now, and what we talked about with Northwestern and Oregon, I think USC is not far off. So getting into the quarterbacks now, because that's a part of it. And I've always felt like the quarterback is, they make the world go round. You got a quarterback that's competent, a quarterback that can really move and groove, a quarterback that could be the great facilitator and knows what he's doing, that's calm. I feel like that could take your team a long way. When you look at these quarterbacks as a whole, all across the Big Ten, is it safe to say, I mean, where would you place Jaden right now?
Yeah, I'd place him at the top. And I got, I want to kind of ask you something, or what I kind of saw. He just looks more confident and looks like he's really enjoying himself out there. I mean, they cut to him a few times up close after plays, and he's talking a little trash. He's smiling. He's kind of showing. He doesn't look panicked or nervous. Last year he played great in my opinion, but he was probably nervous a little bit and kind of showed that at times.
Right.
And he just really looks confident in himself, and I love how he's running the ball. I mean, he just has something. His level of play is really hot, like really great.
Does he look fast? I'm not sure if it's even faster. I think it may be confidence that he's playing with. That he has. I don't know what it is when he's running, because he looked totally different. He's like, I'm gone.
I agree. He's a big dude. A lot of people don't realize how big he's a big guy, and he can
I heard somebody else say that.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He can move. I mean, he's a physical guy. And like you said, what's standing out to me, yes, he's doing everything with his arm. I mean, he made some great throws down the seam, big time throw to Lane one time. But it's not just that. It's just his confidence, how he's carrying himself. I really love where he's at, and I'll put him right at the top. I really would.
No, I think so too. And looking at Jaden, man, he continues to play at a high level. Right now, he's at 900. He's almost at 1,000 yards, 989 yards, 6 TDs on the season, and a 94.3 QBR. I think last year he ended the season, I think, with like a 60-something QBR, but you're talking about a 94.3.
Yeah, 94 is insane.
That's insane. That's saying that you're not now he did have one throw. I'm not gonna put it all up there. He did have one throw that I'm sure he would have liked to have back, but thank God it looked like it was thrown over a little bit to the side, so the defender couldn't get that.
Exactly
but for the most part, he's playing a pretty, and I think it's a decision making. Decision making is totally different in the confidence. So you put him up there at number one. I'm putting him up there at number one. I don't know, who would you put at number two in the conference? Would you put Moore?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Drew, Penn State quarterback.
Oh, Drew Aller. You're talking about Aller? Drew Aller?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are high on him, and I've always had something. Being from Maryland, I always had something against the Steelers, Penn State. So I'm not ready to. To me, he had all that Heisman hype last year, and I think he's a great quarterback. I didn't think he deserved that kind of hype to him. And
so, did you think he took a step back though this year opposed to last year?
Yeah, for sure. I think he took a step back, and I need to see him play. They haven't really played anybody, so let's just see where it goes. But I like the kid from Illinois. I think the kid from Illinois is a good quarterback.
No, he is. That's fact. You played against Drew Aller last year, right?
Yeah, I played against him.
Against him. Yeah.
And he kind of looks like, I thought that he would throw some dangerous throws, in my opinion. I just think that
I saw the same thing.
His decision making wasn't always, the best to me. And he's got all the talent. He's a big kid. He looks the part. He's got the arm talent. But let's just see how he kind of evolves as well, because I'm not sold on him, to be 100% honest.
I think that tight end last year, that big tight end, was a safety blanket for him, man. That guy was just I don't
even want to think about him, man. We got nightmares about him, man.
How big was he though in person?
Oh, he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
He was rolling up.
6'4", 6'5", rolling, and he was a tough. He had that mentality. He was a dog for sure.
No, he is, man. So we talked about some of the defense, man, and I want to get on some of these freshmen. But how do you feel right now about play calling, man? To me, last year I felt like it wasn't balanced. I felt like we could have ran the ball a lot more. Now it seems like Lincoln Riley, I think I saw a stat where he ran the ball 14 times. This could be wrong, but 14 times and passed it for 4 times or something in the fourth quarter. It was some kind of stat like that, but we ran it like for more times in the fourth quarter, I think. And so how are you feeling about the play calling this year overall? Is it balanced in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm loving the play calling. I think it's great. And when we talked about before the season got rolling that, I can't remember exactly where you were at, but I remember I said I want to see him run the ball more. I think you.
Yes. I agree.
And that drive, it was I forget the exact score, but we were pounding the rock. We were getting put movement up front. It was in the fourth quarter, and then we had a chance. And Sairi, the kicker, he played a phenomenal game. But we get down there. I love that drive. He ran the ball. It was like 6-7 times in a row at one point on that drive, and then we missed a field goal. So that was. But my point is, I do like the play calling, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And you want to establish that run game. So when that fourth quarter gets around, you can put these games away. And that's what Coach Riley did.
No doubt. What about the emergence? And I'm sure you're friends with him. What about the emergence? He's always had this talent. Lake McCree, like I know he was hurt, but my God, the dude looks like he's running a 4.3 40 out there right now. Yeah. Like, how you feeling about his emergence and like the way they're utilizing him right now, coming out the backfield, RPO stuff?
Yeah, Lake's one of my best friends, and I can tell you, Lake is one of the best people, most hardworking guys in the world, and he's had a string of injuries, and he's a guy who we all know in the locker room that if he's healthy and they really draw up stuff for him and get him the ball. He's one of the best tight ends in the country, and and I mean that. And if you look at this guy, in high school, I don't know if you know Jay. I mean, he was a legit hooper.
He's from Texas, yeah.
He's a legit hooper as well. I mean, this guy is a legit athlete, a really, really good athlete. And we're finally seeing it. They're drawing stuff up for him. I know he's a demanding type of guy too. He wants the ball. He wants to be a playmaker. And I know over the years that he's been a little bit frustrated with the injuries. And then when he's healthy, kind of, some of the scheme stuff for him. But knowing him and knowing how he's kind of demanded the ball, he's a leader, he's a dog, and it's paying off for him. And
so you've been communicating back and forth with him lately, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, I talk to him like every day.
Hey, so how's he feeling now about his role? Like, hey, tell him USCJ didn't know he was that fast. That first game with the one going up the middle.
Yeah,
like I did not know Lake was that fast. He was like gone, man.
Yeah, the thing about Lake, I'll tell him, but the thing about Lake is, I mean, he is a competitor. I remember in practice, like I said, we're best friends, but at practice, there was 3 or 4 times where we throw hands in practice because he's a tight end, I'm a safety. He's got that chip on his shoulder. I mean, I'm so happy for him, and I know he's really happy. And he's at a spot where he's trying to say, I can't get too high on my horse. I got to just keep showing up. And man, I really hope that this keeps going on the track for him because he deserves it.
No, man. I think the play calling is different, and the fact that he's so involved with it now, and it's intentional. I'm not sure. I know some plays that Jaden Maiava, I know it's Lincoln Riley doubted up the play, and it's RPO stuff. I know some plays that Jaden Maiava has the option, but then I know some plays are drawn up. And I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to Jaden Maiava for not handing the ball off with that little flare out over to that touchdown. Because Lake was right there, man. Everything just seems like it's just hitting on all. Like it's like we're utilizing all our weapons, and I just felt like in the past we really hadn't utilized, even though we had plenty of weapons. How do you feel overall about the utilization of the weapons that we have on the field right now?
Yeah, we talked about it. It might have been last week as well, but we said, with Big Ten play, you have to have those tight ends rolling. Really, you love to have 2 tight ends rolling, but you really have to have a star tight end going, and that really helps you in this conference. And then you got the running backs. King Miller was in there a little bit more.
Yeah.
The receivers, the freshman at Tanaka, right? Am I saying this right?
Yeah. Oh, did you see him go over that one-headed?
Oh man, he was so close. But he plays hard, plays with effort. I mean, they got weapons all over the place. And Coach Riley, the thing you got to give him credit for, and I know you'll agree with me, is it definitely looks like he's kind of learned from some of his mistakes. And
absolutely.
This year, I mean, in all phases, leadership, play calling, he just seems like he's on it. In my opinion,
the way I like to put it is, Coach Riley gets it. Like, I don't think the first year, and it was no knock on him, but I don't think the first year he really understood the aspect of the landscape. Let me say that, the landscape of the Big Ten. And I think now you learn. We all learn from our mistakes, and I think running the ball now, you could tell like he's definitely intentional about running the ball, and as a result, it's just opening everything up, man. And I'm just, let me say, Coach Riley, if you happen to watch this, hey, salute to you for opening up the playbook. Like, we've always known that the Oklahoma Lincoln Riley, you were, I mean, everybody feared that offense. Nobody wanted to play against that. Who wanted to play against that? But now it appears that you back in your bag, all the way back in your bag. And I think as a result, USC is one of the most explosive teams in the country. Now, real quick, before we get out of here, man, I want to talk about I had some super freshmen, man. Tanook Hines was one of those super freshmen. You kind of touched on him. And then Floyd Boucard, my God. He's number 88, I believe. What do you think? I mean, we got the transfers in. Of course, we got John Jerry. You saw him do a crazy interception.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling, man? What are you seeing from a guy like Floyd Boucard, man, as a true freshman?
Yeah, I mean, you just love being able. First of all, nobody understands how difficult it is to play as a true freshman. So if you're playing as a true freshman, there's so much that goes into it. way past your skill level. It's maturity. It's off the field. So that tells me he's been handling this stuff. He's earned the trust to get put in there. And then when he's on the field, he's playing tough. He's playing physical, and he's being a team player. I mean, these are guys, and this is what was great also about the schedule is that these games allow young guys to get reps. And that tells the coaches. Because if he was here last year and we played LSU first game, they probably wouldn't have felt too comfortable. Maybe they would have, but throwing a young guy
that's a different animal. Totally different animal.
In there, and then maybe he would have never got a chance to prove himself. But now he's proved himself in practice. He's proved himself in games. So that's the recipe for a true freshman. Handle everything right off the field. Give effort. Be a team guy. And then when you get in there, you just play as hard as you can and do your job, and you'll be just fine. And that's painful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I saw the other true freshman, Jakeem Stewart, in there. Yeah. He appears to be, part of the equation as well. So overall, what will you give the defense grade wise? We know we saw a little bit of mishaps in the secondary, man. What would you give them?
Yeah, well, knowing Coach Belk, let's talk, real quick, talking about the secondary. Knowing Coach Belk on kind of those slants and stuff, I know he's telling those corners, because we got great corners, and we got long corners too, in terms of their arms. He's telling them they got to get more physical at the line of scrimmage. Take your read steps, take your initial steps, but once that happens, we got to get hands on, and that would have kind of shut down those slants. So secondary, Bishop gets those interceptions. But knowing Coach Belk and kind of how he operates, and again knowing Coach Lynn, they're going to give him a B minus. But they'll fix it.
No, I'm there as well, and that's is that the defense as a whole? You give them a B minus?
Yeah, I'll give the defense a B minus.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that was a good first game in the Big Ten. They can do a lot better, and they played great. We're on the same page with that.
Right.
But the good thing is, like we keep talking about, it's just little things. We're nitpicking.
It's nothing it's nothing that they can't fix. And
B minus.
I think the fact that we're leading in all these different categories is crazy. I guess I can't even imagine if they really get that squared away, man, in the secondary, how they move and groove. So a B minus, I'm right there with you. Offense. What you give them?
The offense. The offense. I mean, those fourth down conversions were big. I like the offensive line. I thought was getting a lot of movement. When we're running the ball, I will give them a B minus as well. I mean, some of those drives that they would love to see them finish with some touchdowns and stuff like that. But I love what I saw. I like where this offensive line is going, in my opinion. What do you think?
No, I think they're doing a phenomenal job. And there was actually a couple times where I saw Jaden Maiava. It looked like he might have had 3 seconds back there. Literally. Yeah. Like I saw it. They just had like a shield around them. And I said, wow, they really – I think they're exceeding expectations of a lot of people. A lot of people said they kind of – they were kind of down on them, like they're not going to be I'm worried about them, but it looks like they're kind of stronger than a lot of people think, man. Great. Yeah.
They look really good.
And so they showed that they could pass block. They showed that they can run block. And I think, as you stated earlier, I just think the schedule, the way it's lining up for us, we kind of, because of this team and they're younger, we needed this type of schedule to just kind of progress with the strength-wise, to continue to just get better and better and better. I feel like by the time we get to Illinois, it's going to be go time, man. And, we didn't really get a chance to touch on Michigan State. But, I mean, that's cool. I wanted to get your overall thoughts on this because, I mean, I know a lot of people want to hear your thoughts, your perspective being that you was there. So I feel good. I feel good overall about it, man. I do need a score prediction, even though we didn't get to Michigan State.
I can go ahead and give you kind of a quick, preview of what I think too. If you want to.
Yeah. We can touch on that.
All right, perfect. Yeah, with Michigan State, I mean, their coaching staff comes from Oregon State, so they're going to have a good run scheme. They're going to have good coaches. They're going to be ready for this game. And then
always love them.
Aiden Childs, the quarterback. I mean, last year he threw 11 picks. He had a turnover problem, but this year, I don't know if you saw their Boston College game, but he played.
They beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, and crazy shootout. I mean, he looks good. So he's going to present a threat. Again, I think they're going to be a slight step up from Purdue. That Purdue team was good, though. I think Michigan State's going to be a slight step up, but with them coming over into the Coliseum, and their defense just doesn't really look good to me. I think we put up a bunch of points. I think we're getting the 40s, so I'm going to go 45 to 17, 45-17.
I like that. I like that score, 45-17. Man, I can't do the same score. I'm gonna say 48. I'm gonna say 48-14. I'm gonna say that. Now I'm gonna say this about Aiden Childs, man. He's extremely, we gotta hold contain though. I do know that. Because he is a mobile guy, and but I don't think and there's no disrespect to him, I don't think he's as accurate as the quarterback we just faced.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
So, like I said, he had a turnover problem last year. I mean, now it's a new season, but I want to see this. I think the turnover is going to keep rolling in, and I think we put in a dominant performance under the lights at home.
Plus, it's an 11 o'clock game on the East Coast. Are they Central Time or are they?
They're East Coast. That's a late game. That's a late game.
It's crazy. Yeah. So it's 11 o'clock for them. I don't even know. I'm so sick of the way they schedule this thing, man. Why schedule this game this late? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Especially, it's a Big Ten game. I'm like, what are they doing?
It's crazy. So look, man, we definitely, man, we appreciate you guys, man. Hey, we appreciate B. Shaw for making his way, man. B. Shaw be giving some insights, such as Lake McCree being friends with him, and just the whole, the aspect of the team. He's been in there. He's done that. So, B. Shaw, man, any last thing you want to give us? Once again, shout out where you're going to be at, your social medias.
All right, perfect. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Shaw Sports Media, TikTok, Shaw Sports, or just my name, Bryson Shaw, and everything. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to keep this thing rolling. It's been great, and I really like where this team's at, and there's no reason. My last thing is, if you're a USC fan, there's no reason not to have super high expectations because this team can do everything we're hoping they can.
Absolutely. Last thing I want to say is every time I do a show with B. Shaw, there's some phenomenal comments. I've actually screenshotted text B. Shaw some comments. So look, thank everybody for the support. And thank you, B. Shaw, for being able to come on, man, taking out the time, man. We really, really appreciate that, man. So, hey, look, man, till later on, we are out of here. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.